introduction, guys. Welcome.
Hey there, I'm Swtorista. I create videos, fan site, stream about Star Wars The Old Republic. I like all parts of the game, and today I'm joining Aviriia. We're going to be spoiling Onslaught, we're going to be spoiling Echoes of Oblivion, we're going to be spoiling some of the newest content in the game, pretty much everything leading up to the 7.0 Legacy of the Sith expansion. What especially are we going to be talking about today, Avi?
So we are going to talk mostly about Darth Malgus, Aryn Leneer, Satele Shan, Tau, Aryn, Darth Rivix, Shae Heta Kol, and whatever just crosses between the lines.
I have a feeling some other characters are going to slip in there. We're going to be focusing a lot on characters that have changed over the years or who have appeared recently. Okay, we're going to dive right into this lore talk now. We're both really big fans of the lore of the Old Republic as well as specifically the game. And when we were talking about, let's have a talk about characters, especially characters that have changed over the years. Who was the #1 character that we wanted to start with, Avi?
Yeah. Right on the top, Darth Malgus.
#1.
I think there's no escaping on that one. So yeah, Darth Malgus, where to start even? Because he's the hero of, I'm just gonna call him the hero, the big
He's the hero?
character.
You're such an Imperial dog.
Yes! By the Empire.
And when you meet first, Darth Malgus, when he first starts showing up in the game, your first impression of him might actually be from the trailers, depending on how you started the game, huh? You see him being this super awesome dark side character, force lightning, kicking butt in the trailers, but when you actually meet him first in game, who is he? What's your first meeting point with him?
My meeting point, I think it was at one of the Flashpoint terminals. I'm trying to remember which Flashpoint, but he was if you're playing Imperial side, he was one of the main characters, and afterwards she got really into Ilum with that story arc.
And that's as a Republic first player. That's kind of where I started really getting into Malgus and seeing him, and he's this guy who's super pro Empire, and then all of a sudden he's a traitor and he's stolen the Emperor's space station and he's gonna go make a stealth armada. What?
He's going rogue. What's going on?
So I know you're a lore lover, but what is the big thing that makes Malgus different from the rest of the Sith Lords? What is his big motive and the way he wants to change the Empire?
I actually haven't really dived much into that, but he just has this completely different view of how the Empire should run and how the Council should work. What do you think with that? Because he's such a different view. He tried to make a whole new empire for himself, which was the
long
big thing
live the new emperor.
Yeah.
I know his big difference was that he was cool with aliens and he wanted to take advantage of aliens.
And the alien thing is a big thing in the Empire. So as we all know, the Empire is pretty racist towards alien species. They're very racist towards alien species, and he was one of the few Sith Lords who was pretty much okay with aliens, from what I have understood from it. Well, not as bad as the rest.
Have you read, there's actually a book called Deceived about Malgus. Have you read that one? I have not.
I had it on audiobook, I believe, but I fell asleep while listening to it on TV.
Okay, so maybe that one,
I'm gonna be very
maybe
honest.
We won't be diving into that, but there's a lot more Malgus lore in there for anyone who wants to dive into it. So we have this Malgus. He shows up first, kind of giving us an intro to cutscenes. Then he takes over the Emperor's space station, turns traitor, tries to become the new Emperor. We kick his butt, throw him down a mine shaft. And then where does he suddenly come back? Where's our surprise?
In the deleted scene from Knights of the Fallen Empire.
That's true. That? Oh my god, I forgot about that. So there was this trailer for Knights of the Fallen Empire. Many of you saw it, but there was a deleted cutscene where Malgus rises from the carbonite. Maybe he was frozen, kind of like we were as the Outlander. I completely forgot about that. That is not where he actually came back, though. That didn't happen.
But it just popped into my mind. Wait a second.
Technically,
this is something that we forgot.
Technically.
But yeah, that's where he first appeared, but afterwards he came back in... Well, it was Jedi Under Siege in Ossus.
Yeah, in Ossus.
Onslaught.
How did you feel about that reveal when you saw it the first time? Because you see Malgus come back most strongly on the Imperial side. You literally see him break open from a box. How was that for you?
Laura and just yeeting my Laura off the edge, bye. I'm the ruler now. Did you play the Republic side first or the Imperial side?
I played the Republic
first?
side first, so I heard rumors that Malgus had come back.
Yeah, I played the Imperial side first, and it was like this big surprise of like it was literally like a little gift wrapper, like just here's Malgus, like coming out of this. I don't even know what it was, but it was like, well, here's Malgus, he's gonna take the charge, deal with it, type of thing. Yeah, it was. I remember that. It was so cool. I was not expecting that.
I was very surprised to see Malgus as well. I was like, what? I thought he was dead. I guess not. I guess people falling down giant falls in Star Wars isn't a death sentence. Never has been.
Like even Darth Maul could survive it, so
we should chop Malgus in half and give him spider legs. Perfect. So something that I thought was super interesting about Darth Malgus coming back in the OSIS storyline is that he's not of his own free will. He's being coerced. He's being controlled by the Darth Council. He has a bomb, I think it is, on his back.
Yeah. It's like a fail-safe, I think.
Yeah, fail-safe, yeah. And so he can't just run off and do whatever he wants, but he escapes.
Yeah, he was it the droid? I completely forgot the name of the droid.
It's like a medical droid, right?
Yeah, so this was after the Corellia, like at the end of Onslaught. As you guys who just jumped in, major spoilers again. So at the end of Onslaught, they removed this by accident, and that's where he basically went all loose and leading up to the story of where we are right now. But yeah, he's loose, he's no longer tied, and
we really learn a lot about what Malgus is up to in the Dantooine flashpoint, which is fairly recent in terms of the storyline, so major spoilers, obviously.
Yeah.
You get to, on the Imperial side, you go with Darth Krovos, and Republic side, you go with Aryn Leneer, which we'll actually be talking more about soon. But when you're with Darth Krovos, Imperial side, he says that he has broken his chains, something no Sith has ever done. He will never return to the Empire, and he will never let someone else rule after him. It's pretty clear what he doesn't want, but I don't know what he does want. Do you have any ideas about what Malgus's goals are? Do you have any idea about what these relics are that he's chasing?
I have no clue about those relics, but if I have my own theory, like I should have made like a little tinfoil hat thing to just put on right now. But I think I don't know if he wants to rule the Empire, but it's a really tricky one. We will see it very likely in 7.0, but I think he wants his own following? Like I have no clue. Like it's so what do you think? Because
yeah, does he want he doesn't want the Empire. He doesn't want to be he doesn't want to long live the new Empire, that's for sure. Do you think he wants to take over the whole galaxy, or do you think he wants to do something else so he's free and no one else can ever touch him again?
I think he wants to reform the Empire as it is now. I think, I if I'm gonna think about, I've not thought really much about it, but I think those relics could give him some type of power to maybe, I have no clue. I think he wants to use those relics or the things that he's hunting after to turn against the Empire. If I'm just gonna speculate, I think he's gonna do that.
Yeah, so we got these two big paths he could be taking. He could be trying to take over the galaxy, and these relics are some type of weapon or war, we don't know. And the other option is a personal vendetta, a personal goal, something that isn't, I am the big new bad guy, ha ha ha. Maybe he's looking for something that can bring back his girlfriend, his Twi'lek lover. I don't know what else he could really want. He doesn't seem to have a lot of wishes or goals in his life. Maybe there's more in the novel.
Well, maybe revenge against the Emperor or Empress, depending which side you went on, because we have some scenes of flashback on how
mad at them. Yeah, so depending on whether you have Darth Asina as the Empress or Darth Vowron as the Emperor, no matter what you chose, they were very mean to Malgus. They were shocking him and saying, "You must do what we say." Oh yeah, it could totally be a personal vendetta. He just wants to kill the Dark Council. He doesn't care about anything else.
That's what I think. He's also getting to the age. We know people live really long, in Star Wars, but he's 75.
He's old, yeah, but he's got the power of the dark side. Of course, it could be something to extend his life too. Yeah, that's a pretty common wish in Star Wars.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I don't think he wants it. He doesn't seem to like the character for that.
Me neither. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is someone really cool that we got to meet for the first time in Star Wars The Old Republic fairly recently, and that's Aryn Leneer, who has a very big history with Malgus.
So yeah, the first time when we actually met Aryn Leneer, and it's like with the novel again, was it the Deceived novel? I think it was the Deceived novel, right?
Yeah, from
Where
the
we got to
Deceived
meet her?
novel
Yeah.
that neither of us read, but we know about the
Yeah.
lore. And what's her tie to Malgus?
Malgus did kill her master, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's a kind of two-way relationship. He killed her master, and then Aryn Leneer also spared the life of his Twi'lek lover.
Yeah.
I always forget her name.
Alina Daru.
Oh, Alina Daru. Yeah.
And I think that's made him realize that, like, that love is also weakness, and that is why he eventually killed the Twi'lek, his lover.
Himself. Yeah, he was like, ah!
No, but his lover. Like, that's, I think, the reason. Like, I need to read the book. This is one
There's
of the
some good lore in there, right?
Yeah, there's some really good lore in that. But yeah, that is the tie that Aryn Leneer has with Darth Malgus.
And so how do we see her first in the game? And when you first saw her, did you know who she was? Because I didn't. I was like, who's this lady? No.
Yeah, same. I was just sitting there. I was like, who is this woman? Is she important? And yeah, I had no clue. I had to dive into like the lore things on Wikipedia. I was like, who is this? But no, the first time when we saw her was on Osis, and wasn't it when she like pulled a lightsaber and like he is here?
Yeah, I don't know if she's building a lightsaber or not. She's just like busy in her workshop, and she's like, the Force, I feel him. Yeah. She could have been building a lightsaber, so that's super cool.
But she pulled it like from the shelf.
Oh like, yeah, she finds it where she hid it. Yeah. And so she fled to Dantooine after her encounter in the Deceived novel. She fled to Dantooine with her little family that she made, and all of a sudden Malgus shows up, and she's like, And as far as we know, she's been like hiding there this entire time. She hasn't been a part of the Jedi. She hasn't been a part of anything. She's been out of the galaxy. And then she helps them. She helps them find Malgus.
Yeah, she came back after Echoes of Oblivion. That's when we saw her again with Satele Shan. And leading up to that was this Star Wars article written with like how she felt the presence of Malgus, like at a Jedi temple. Like, it's been a while since I read it, but that's where we also saw her. Or well, that's about her. And then at the end of the Echoes of Oblivion. And yeah, what do you think what she would have told Satele Shan when she said like we have a lot to talk about?
We have a lot to talk about. I couldn't figure out if that was the segue, as in Aryn Leneer is going to be a bigger part of the Jedi Order going forward. We're pretty short on Jedi Masters right now. Like we need more experienced Jedi, because like 3/4 of them are dead right now.
They're all scattered over the galaxy, and it's like, we need Jedi.
We'll take whoever we can get, whatever outcasts or, So either she could be rejoining the Jedi Order as part of, like, maybe a new Jedi Council or something like that. Or she could be like, I have a lot to tell you, Satele Shan, and now I'm going to peace out and head back to Dantooine, leave me alone. What do you think she's going to do if you had to take a bet?
I think she will join. As long when it's like involving Malgus, with also her like personal vendetta against him of killing her master, and it's like she's not really a Jedi anymore. So I think she's like low-key dark side on that point. So like she has something against him and wants him gone, but I don't think she will rejoin the Jedi. Like the Jedi is pretty much there are not many anymore. But
yeah, for sure.
I don't think she will rejoin them. But what do you think?
I'm really hoping that she rejoins. Like I said, our number of Jedi are super short right now, and I'll take whatever rejects we can get, even the ones who don't want to be there.
You can let the Force. You're a Jedi now.
And speaking of who would be accepting her as a Jedi or talking to her, our next character we wanted to talk about was the evolution of Satele Shan.
Oh yeah, let me actually scroll to the part. Like we got a whole document. Like, oh my goodness, there's a lot to talk about Satele.
So, kind of how we mentioned before, most people's first impression of her would actually be from the trailers. You see her kicking butt in the Hope trailer, the Battle of Alderaan trailer, and she's spinning her lightsaber around. You've got the other trailer. What's the one where they get attacked on the ship and her master gets stabbed?
The latest one, The Return. I think they actually released this video like a few days ago on 4K, but it was the first time when we actually saw her face Malgus. Yes. That was in the Return trailer on above Corbin.
So there's your cool impression of Satele Shan. She's really good at fighting with her lightsaber. She's kind of young. She's not a Jedi master yet. But that changes a lot over time. Where do you start seeing her in-game?
Well, if you are playing on the Jedi side, like you met her like on Typhon at the Jedi Academy itself. And the Imperial side, I am not very sure where we first saw her on the Imperial side.
I feel like you might see her in Flashpoints, but I'm not entirely sure.
There's not much of a mention of it. Like, I remember, like, in the Shadows of Revan was a big part.
Yeah, that's right. Shadow of Revan. Forces gathering together for the first time properly.
Yeah, that really left an impression on me. It was like, oh my gosh, Satele Shan. Yeah, I wasn't playing much on the Republic side.
No, when you're playing Republic side, when you're playing a Jedi Consular or a Jedi Knight, you meet her a lot. She's very serene. Hello, I'm Satele Shan, leader of the Jedi Order. We need your help to save the galaxy. You know, that kind of stuff. And she's super, super composed, super in charge of things. But all of a sudden, Knights of the Fallen Empire, Zakul attacks. Things change.
She's out.
Bye.
Yeah. And the first time we saw her again was in Odessen, right?
Yeah, we see her and another character who's a little Force ghost. Who's she hanging out with?
Yeah, with Darth Maul. I was pretty surprised when it happened. Like, what was your impression when you saw this happening? I was like,
I mean, the fact that they're together, like, is not too surprising because they'd worked together through Shadow of Revan, and both of them are more moderate in terms of their beliefs. Like, Darth Maul is not crazy fanatical Sith, though he's very staunchly pro-Empire, and Satele Shan's not insane religious Jedi. We must adhere to the light side of the Force and murder our enemies. And is that how Jedi think?
Yeah. Oh, I loved your voice impression of that. Okay.
Pragmatic, yes. They're both very pragmatic. And so I wasn't surprised to see them together. I was surprised to see them right there with a Force Ghost. It was like, oh, so cool. And she looks very different even when we see her.
She's also a lot older. Like, all the characters have aged, so more wise, more knowledge.
She doesn't even, I don't think she ever even takes her lightsaber out when you meet her more recently.
I don't think so, no. Like, she helps you build your weapon on Odessen, but she doesn't fight her. Like, she's more like a mentor.
She plays a major part of the story in Echoes of Oblivion. What happens there? That was a crazy story.
That was a crazy story. So what happens in Echoes of Oblivion was Kira and Scourge, they were like after the Emperor, like fighting like the last gruesome weapon of
gruesome weapon of Tenebrae.
Yeah, Tenebrae, Vicious, Vakorian, whatever name he wields this time. It's true. And yeah, that's like I don't even know, like, was the plague or so that they found, but yeah, it was something.
It's kind of confusing. I'm not sure which parts were true and which parts were part of their trap.
Yeah, I have no clue, but she was quarantined on the ship, and you, as the Alliance commander, the Outlander, US player, had to rescue them, her, and face the Emperor. Well, I'm just gonna call him the Emperor. For who knows? Maybe the last time. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, I think we're done with the Emperor, but Satele Shan, I don't think we're done with. She's done a lot of transition over the years. You start seeing her fighting a lot in battle, like in person with her lightsaber, and she transitions more and more towards kind of being like a Jedi consular, fighting with her mind, fighting with her diplomacy, with tricks and stuff like that, without ever picking up her lightsaber.
Yeah. I actually never thought about it that way, that she really did change, like, in that type of fight style.
She's a huge character for transitioning, over time. And then the last place we see her helping rebuild the Jedi Order on Tython. I got the impression, though, especially on Republic side, that she's not going to be in charge, though.
No, I'm not sure. Like, I didn't really like looked into that, but it's, well, as you mentioned before, like the Jedi are all scattered over the galaxy. Like, there is not really like a Jedi Order at the moment.
I think they're kind of like trying to rebuild it. I think if you're playing the Jedi Knight or Jedi Consular, you get invited to a new council. I can't quite remember how that works.
I think they're building or trying to build something, but there is nothing concrete as when you first start the game and you're just on Typhon. Like, it's nothing like that. No.
I wanted to skip to a character that we don't have on our sheet, and this is something that Aryn Leneer might want to talk to Satele Shan about. We have a character named Syl, who's possibly made some transitions. Did you want to give the details about that?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it somewhere, but yes, Syl. Oh my goodness. So, there is this tinfoil hat theory, guys.
It's not even a tinfoil hat theory. Tinfoil hat theory is like, Darth Malgus is secretly Darth Jadis. No. This is something that's a really cool hint and secret that some players have figured out.
So yeah, why don't you tell? Because I'm just going along with the tinfoil hat. We don't know. Like,
no, I want to hear your tinfoil hat theory. Do it.
Tinfoil hat theory. So there is this thing going around that, spoilers, that Vaylin is not dead, but that she lives on in Syl.
And who's Syl?
Because if you look at, like, when there's a scene at Echoes of Oblivion when Aryn Leneer, like, walks towards Satele Shan, you see, like, looking, like, you should just look at her, and it's like, I don't know, like, what do you think?
I think it's great. So I didn't catch this when I played this. I would have never caught this if other players hadn't gone So you're in the Echoes of Oblivion cutscene. You're inside the head, I believe it was Satele Shan, where she's kind of trapped Tenebrae, and a lot of other characters come to help you in spirit usually, or in Force Ghost, or in memory, stuff like that. And Vaylin, I don't know if it's a memory of Vaylin or Vaylin's actual Force Ghost, but she gives a really weird look to one of the dead Padawans that had, like, fallen. I don't know if they were dead yet, but they're certainly, you know, available for possessing. I think so.
Dad and Syl are dead.
And she's got orange hair, very short orange hair, and looks very different than Vaylin, but Vaylin gives her a very weird look. And then we see this Padawan later on. I think it's in the same cutscene where Aryn Leneer walks in and says, we have a lot to talk about. And we also get a very weird email. It's not an email, it's a space mail. HoloNet mail. Holo mail. Who was that from? Do you remember? I think it was from Satele.
I think it was indeed from Satele, and because it was first, because before you went into the head of Satele Shan, they were told, like, oh, those are dead, like Syl and this other person are dead. And in this mail, it's being told, like, by a miracle, Syl is alive.
Shock!
So, one moment she's dead, one other moment she's back alive, after the very funny look of Vaylin, and Vaylin saying in the same, like, Echoes of Oblivion, like, there are no limits to my power.
Yeah, so no kidding.
Yeah, there are people, like, at our camp, Syl is Vaylin, so I don't know.
Vaylin's very, very much a fan favorite. A lot of people really like her. She's crazy, she's powerful, she has a tragic past, you know, what's not to like. I was hoping she would come back as a Force Ghost companion. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Pretty clear that we're going a different direction with that. But I think it's going to be interesting. Satele Shan's going to be kind of occupied with that, I feel like. She's going to be a troubling student. But I think we have Master Nostral is mostly in charge of the Jedi Order, so I think things are in pretty decent hands. So Satele Shan is no longer the Grand Master, and that's her change as well.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking with, like, this with Jedi with Satele Shan and how much we'll see about her in 7.0, because I think with, like, Satele Shan and Malgus, like, I'm pretty sure we will see some Satele Shan. Like, no doubt.
Oh, I sure hope so. I'm gonna be mad if they, like, write Satele out because she's old. Throw a tantrum.
I just have her on the side, like, oh, Satele's doing this. Have fun on Banaan and all those other places.
So we've had some new characters introduced as well. I'm crying. I'm like, don't delete my old characters. There's some brand new ones that are quite interesting and cool. So who's our first new big Jedi character?
I'm totally gonna butcher her name. So Tao Idare? Am I pronouncing it right? I hope I pronounced it right. I'm just gonna call her Tao.
I think so. Tao, yeah.
Tao, yeah. She's one of the newer characters. And she got introduced in OSIS and mostly on Republic side. And since you mostly played the Republic side,
Yahoo!
can you tell something about it?
So she is introduced on OSIS. She's one of the kind of Jedi that have immigrated to OSIS to kind of escape the war, try and protect the few people that they can. And her thing is that she's very traumatized. She's seen a lot of bad things. She's seen people die in front of her, and she's never really had the chance to heal or find the peace of the Jedi yet. She's really, really hurting in her soul. and she's very unconfident because of it. She like worries a lot about things. Master Nostoral, who we're talking about, is now going to be, I think, the Grand Master, at least partially in charge of the Jedi. He wants her to take a Padawan. He wants her to grow. He wants her to become a confident young Jedi. And it's interesting because she does eventually take on Aryn as her Padawan. One thing I want to ask you about is, do you think she's going to kind of continue to be a main character? I feel like a lot of players didn't really end up connecting with her very much, because she's like on all the posters, she's like fighting Darth Malgus, she's in the promotional material, she's on the loading screen.
I think she will have a big part to play, but mostly as like a guiding character of like the plotline, if you know what I mean. It's not like you're gonna be fighting right next to her 24/7, but I think she'll basically just pinpoint you to the direction where you need to go in the story.
I think so. It's kind of
at least in Manam, that's
where
what
it's
I
heading.
think.
Yeah, I can't really see her doing well on Manan, fighting underground and stuff like that. I really do like her story with Aryn, though. I know you haven't played quite as much Republic side, but I love seeing their little relationship grow. I think there's even an option to sabotage their little relationship, like plant seeds of doubt and stuff like that. And there's very...
Was that on Mekshia where Aryn went after those slavers?
Yeah, well, there's a couple different points, I think. But yeah, I think that's one of the points.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've played Republic side, so that's really interesting.
So her Padawan is also somebody new. People like to joke that he's like the lead singer of Nickelback. Completely irrelevant to the story. But he was introduced on Osis, Padawan for Tau Adair. So I know you had recently an interview with Charles Boyd, and what did you learn about what's coming up for Aryn?
So Aryn is going to be involved in Manan. He is going to be one of the characters returning in the Manan story. We don't, Charles didn't tell me much about it, which was such a shame. But yeah, Aryn is going to be involved with Manan, and Manan is what we also have seen in the arts, like the concept art is like quite a war zone, and it's going to be really interesting because Aryn, he is, well, how do you say it? Like, he had some very severe injuries through war zones before, and he's going to be fighting all Manan. I'm really curious on how it will affect his mental, like his...
Right, going back into a war zone, when he's also not quite ready yet. Yeah, he's kind of hurting both physically as well as mentally, like Tau is. We'll see how that goes. I'm so looking forward to the Manan story. Like, I am so ready for that.
Yeah, I'm really curious how long it will be and how much involvement with the characters it will be. Or if it's just gonna be a story like, oh, this is Manan, go do the thing, now off to Elam.
Right, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. Yeah. Another new character that we had come up was Darth Rivix. You're the Imperial Master here. You tell me about Darth Rivix.
Darth Rivix. So Darth Rivix gets introduced if you are playing with the Imperial side. He is one of the liaisons of the Empire. So you on the Alliance, you get introduced with him. And he is... On the Republic side, you got Aryn... I think it was Aryn Leneer, like a year of like with Rivix. And
yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, the main question with Rivix, because he's such a smooth talker, is getting me trusted.
You're even more impressive than in person, Aviriia. That's how he rolls up to you the first time.
Yeah. No, I like him. I like him as a character. I also love the voice actor. Like,
he does a great job.
I want Rivix to stay. So.
Are you gonna smooch up Darth Rivix? Is there gonna be some romance?
I hope so. I'm just gonna throw one of my characters at it. It's like, you got romance.
So he says when he first meets you, I have no real gain if I plot or sabotage against you because your success is my success in my role as liaison. Do you trust him? Do you think he's going to help you, or do you think he's going to betray you? Do you think maybe he's more on the Dark Council side than your side?
It depends on what his game will be, I think.
Right. We have a lot of questions about Darth Rivix.
Yeah, I think as long as there's power involved, he will go for it. But also, like I don't know, what do you think? Do you trust him?
I don't know. We also have that kind of theory. He's a different species that we haven't come across before. Zeltron, yeah, and they're kind of known for being extra smooth and charming, and that kind of covers things up even more to try and guess what his objectives are.
Like, it is something with lore that is very exclusive to the Zeltron species. That's like very seductive, and so yeah, that's could be. who knows? Like maybe he's being sent by the Dark Council to just keep you on the watch. Because like wasn't it in the scene after the Dantooine Flashpoint where I was seen talking with
Yes, in the background.
council,
You're like,
and then you just walk into it's like, what are you talking about?
I caught you talking to the Darth Council. And I know there's 2 other characters that you really wanted to talk about, and those are the Mandalorians.
Yeah, like that's I think that's the thing that we don't know much about. Like what's gonna happen with the Mandalorians, especially with Shae Vizsla and Heta Kol, and because last time when we saw Shae Vizsla is
in the trailers. What?
In its
first time.
First time when we saw her, like she was she supporting Malgus?
She was. Well, she was hired by him at least. And she is the archetype of the bounty hunter with her flamethrower and jetpack and spinning around and stuff like that. She's mostly there as a, hey, look, you can play a bounty hunter for the trailer. Yeah. But she has a huge transition as well. So where do we see her start popping up?
So the first time when we actually met like the character was in Rishi when you were doing, I think it was Blood Hunt, the Flashpoint Blood Hunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
where you get to meet her. And yeah, there was mostly a recruiter on her side. She's supporting you. And afterwards, there's been a 5-year time skip. And we'll see her as... Oh my god, I keep forgetting the name. She is the leader of the Mandalorians. She is...
Mandalore, the...
The Mandalore, the... something.
I thought it was Ultimate, but I can never remember.
Yeah, Mandalore.
The Avenger? The Changer? The Transitioning? I'm not sure. Something like that.
Something along those lines.
Mandalore the Avenger for her. Got it. And she I thought she was gonna kind of come and go in Shadow of Revan, like she'd be with us and then she'd leave and never come back. But we actually see her showing up quite a bit in the story.
So yeah, I think the first time was in Darvanis when you were to recruit the Mandalorians, and ever since that moment they kind of stayed in the back and they really got like a big role to play. And yeah, what was it? Spirit of Vengeance in the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Leading up to that. Yeah.
So we've got her relationship with Jakaya Ordo and his son Ras Ordo. She names Jakaya Ordo Arbiter, and she's kind of gone off on her own vendetta. She needs to find out what Heta Kol is doing and find her and I guess punch her in the face, I think is her main goal right now. I feel like it's really clear what Shae Vizsla, Mandalore the Avenger wants right now.
Yeah, like Heta Kol attacks her people. She's not happy. So yeah, she's definitely going after Heta Kol. Heta Kol is also in some very hot waters. The Hutts have placed a bounty on her. Well, that's on Makeb. And yeah, I'm really curious if we will see Shae Vizsla and the Hutts maybe working together. Like, what do you think?
I don't know. That's a great question. Yeah, they're definitely up to something, right? Like, who are they going to be allying with is a huge question, I think, coming up.
But yeah, there isn't much information. Like, we have like Shae and like the Mandalorians trying to find the Field Marshal Heta Kol, and yeah, she's like, from what the latest story cutscenes what we've seen is that she's very afraid of people finding out about her secrets. What could those secrets be?
Dun dun dun. Yeah, we know so little about Heta Kol, and there's a lot of hints that there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I've seen lots of guesses about who she might be related to, but we're definitely going to be learning more about her and seeing the changes in her character in the expansion, for sure. No doubt about that.
No doubt. They haven't really been much like promoting about it. Like, we have like Elam and we have Manam, but we haven't really
nothing
much
about the
about
characters. Nothing about the characters, like, at all.
So yeah, I'm really curious about it. Like, is this gonna be a big surprise thing that you're just trying to keep on the side, or is this gonna be something for after your expansion? Like, that's
right. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're all part of the same big story. Like, you've got the whole Malgus thing, and you've got the Mandalorians thing. I don't know if they're connected or not.
Well, maybe they will be connected.
Maybe they will become connected. I don't. We'll see, I guess.
Like Malgus teaming up with Heta Kol?
I mean, it's not impossible. Like, Darth Malgus doesn't want to be chained, neither does Heta Kol, so...
That would be something. Like, yeah.
Go put your tinfoil hat back on.
There. Oh.
So that was our list of characters that we wanted to specifically talk about. I think that was a really good coverage of characters that have changed, and we obviously didn't touch on Revan, we didn't touch on Valkorion, because those are the big boys who have way too much change in their lives.
Like, we had Valkorion for 6 years now, 7 years, like, even from the main storyline, and it all started with,
no more,
but, like, I'm interested to learn more about his past.
I would love that.
I want him to return.
Yeah, I would love that. Any more lore snippets we can find, any ancient tombs, any manuscripts, stuff like that. I'd love that, because he's the most powerful Sith as far as I can tell in history.
Yeah, he lived like almost 1,000 years or so.
Yeah,
like he was old.
Just a little bit. He got his senior citizens discount. All right, I think this is a great place to wrap up this interview. Thank you so much for joining me, Avi. So if you're watching on Avi's YouTube channel, she's here, and you can check out all her info in the description of this video. And I'm Swtorista. You can find me on the internet. See you guys later.
Bye, guys.